What's going on, guys? Coach Vic here. Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about 3 tips to hit more home runs. And if you're not a home run guy just yet, don't sweat it. These tips are going to help you hit the ball harder, farther, more consistently, and get you dialed in. Let's go. Before we even get into tip number 1, this is how I usually lead this discussion with my hitters, okay? And so I want you to do here, I want you to picture in your mind, think back to your best hit ever. Now, that could be a home run, that could be a gapper, it could be a line drive base hit, it doesn't really matter. Think back to the last time, the most vivid memory of your best hit. Go, I'll give you a second. You got that thought or that hit in your mind. Now I want you to think, what were you trying to do? If you're like any hitter I know, like myself, or any other hitter that I've ever heard of, more than likely you say you weren't trying to do that. You weren't trying to hit a home run. You weren't trying to hit your best hit ever, okay? You were just trying to hit the ball. You're probably thinking, well, I was just see ball, hit ball. And that leads me to tip number 1. Stop trying. Okay, it may seem so obvious, but it's the truth. The truth is that when we are hitting our best, when you hit that best ball that you've ever hit, whatever it was, you weren't trying. We got to think small. Okay, how do I hit home runs, which is a big thing to do, by thinking small? The times that you try are the times that mechanics are breaking down, you don't have much of an approach, you're not putting yourself in a good position, you're too aggressive, you're not seeing the ball first, therefore you're jumping at it or whatever, you end up rolling it over, popping up, swinging and missing. In fact, you do the opposite of what you're trying to do. So what does that mean to stop trying? I think in my mind, I want to be able to have an approach that's going to keep me in line, that's going to keep my mechanics together. And so this is often why most major leaguers, including home run hitters in the big leagues, even themselves, do not try to hit home runs. It doesn't work. So number 1 is we want to have an approach, right? So going along with stop trying is like, I'm just trying to hit a line drive back up the middle. I'm trying to hit, as a right-handed hitter, I'm trying to hit a line drive back up the middle. I'm trying to hit a line drive over second base. You hear guys like Pete Alonso, pretty good home run hitter, talking about I'm just trying to hit a hell of a line drive somewhere. You got guys like Freddie Freeman, just peppering line drives over the shortstop's head in BP, in the cage, off the tee. Same thing, over and over. He says it all the time, my BP is boring. And it is, because he knows that with that approach of staying on the ball, getting on plane and working through line drives the other way, puts him in a good place to translate into games. And sure enough, what happens? He takes that approach into games and it leads to big things. It leads to home runs. Think about the at-bats when you're trying to hit a home run or trying to hit the ball as hard as you can. What results did you get? How many times did it actually work? I'm willing to bet not very many. In the course of my career, I probably hit, I don't know for sure, I'm gonna say maybe like 200 home runs from like Little League to professional baseball. Professional baseball had about 65. Junior college, I had about 21, 15, 16 in high school, or at least on varsity. Everything else in travel ball and summer ball and Little League and all that stuff. The amount of times that I tried to hit a home run where I actually told myself in my head, like, I'm going deep right here, I'm taking this fool out of here. The times I did that, I can count them on one hand. It is not a sustainable approach. It's not an effective approach to go up trying to hit home runs. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be a home run hitter on purpose. We want to train our swing and our mechanics to cater to that, to be able to elevate the ball with backspin, make consistent barrel contact, those types of things. So of course, but the tips in this video are going to be more on the mental side, because I want you to be able to implement these tactics, these tips immediately. Drills are good, mechanical adjustments are good and necessary, but they take longer, right? This is something that you can actually do relatively quickly. It might be a little bit easier said than done, But with the focus, with the desire, with the effort to get into the right headspace, you're gonna be able to figure it out and you're gonna get dialed in. Again, to your best hit ever, okay? Were you tense? Were you stressed? Were you anxious? Did you feel pressure? More than likely, the answer is no. So then what were you feeling? What were you? How did your body feel? You were relaxed. Almost guarantee it. And I know you're probably thinking it right now. I was relaxed. I was loose. I was smooth. We have to be relaxed if we are going to hit. I'm stating this, what I believe is fact. You cannot hit to your potential if you are not relaxed. It does not work. You can be tense and be anxious and feel the pressure, and then you can be in a slump and say you finally, square up a ball. Okay? And then all of a sudden you're not in a slump anymore. And then you can say, well, I was tense then. You're right, but you probably got lucky on that one. And then what happened is after you got that one good hit, how did you respond? How did you feel? How did you start thinking after you got that one big hit? You relaxed. You let go. You released the pressure off your shoulders. And now all of a sudden, you're relaxed. And now that you were relaxed, you're on fire because you're relaxed. So the question is, are you relaxed because you hit well, or are you hitting well because you're relaxed? We have to be relaxed in the box. And when we're relaxed, we're in control. You're in control of yourself. And so, how do we get in control of ourselves? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I created a free guide for you to download. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do just that, how to control yourself in the moment, how to step back, take your deep breath and focal point, and then your verbal cue. And I'm gonna break down step by step how to do this and how to be able to gain control of yourself in the moment. Famous sports psychologist, Dr. Ken Ravizza, an author of Heads Up Baseball 2.0, which I recommend everybody read, the audiobook version as well. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you want to check that out. I highly, highly recommend it. But Dr. Ken Ravizza said, if you want to control how you perform, therefore how you hit the ball, you have to first be in control of yourself. And so he created this traffic light signal routine. In this free download, I break it down step by step how to actually do just that. So click the link in the description, get your download, and start working on it. Get in control of yourself, relax, and start raking. Back to that best hit ever. Okay, close your eyes if you need to. What was your mentality like? Were you being aggressive? Do you think were you being passive? Now, most people are gonna say something along the lines of being selectively aggressive. And I think that that's a good way of saying it, patiently aggressive or selectively aggressive, however you want to describe it, something in that realm, okay, is because that we are giving ourselves, because we're not trying to hit home runs, because we're relaxed and in control of ourselves, that we can have a mentality where we can be aggressive and still make a good selection. We can still pick out a good pitch to hit. Ted Williams said it, I mean, a lot of people have said it, but the key to hitting, the key to being a great hitter is getting a good pitch to hit and putting a good swing on it. I mean, duh, right? It sounds so obvious, but yet how many hitters, when they're struggling, are swinging at pitches down here and they're waving at them or rolling them over, chopping them back to the mound, whatever it is. As much as we think we know, when it comes to game time, we can't really think about these things. We have to build these things into our approach and into our routine even when we're training, okay? So one way to think about the mentality is a yes, yes, no mentality, okay? And so here's a quick little story. In 2009, it was my first year of independent baseball. I had just got released from the Rockies, spring training 09. Sucked, right? So anyways, I go play independent ball. I'm struggling. to start. I don't know what it is, maybe the first couple weeks of the season, week or two, and I'm hitting 7th. They got me hitting 7th. I was a cleanup hitter, minors with the Rockies, hitting 7th in indie ball now, and I'm thinking like, what the heck is going on here? So I'm struggling. I'm just swinging right through balls, right down the middle. I don't know what the heck is going on. And a young rookie actually told me, hey Vic, dude, he's like, it looks like you're in a no, yes. And like, I hadn't even heard of that before. What the heck is it no, yes? He's like, dude, it's your mentality. He's like, it looks like with the time when you decide to swing the bat, like it's just a little bit too late. And I'm like, huh, interesting. And he's like, yeah, you got to be in a yes, no. And I'm like, oh, and like as soon as he said it, I didn't have to think about it. I knew exactly what he was saying. Yes, no mentality. That means that every pitch, it is going to be my pitch until it's not. Okay, so we're not trying to hit home runs. We're relaxed and in control of ourselves, and we're in a yes, no mentality. This is going to help you have the perfect combination, the sweet spot, pun intended, of selectiveness and aggressiveness. But guess what happened? Okay, as soon as the guy said that, the very next at bat, I hit this ball right here. That was a 3-run homer. That was my last at bat of that game, and then the next game, first at bat, I hit this one. This ball was probably about 410 dead oppo, cleared the grass out there. Then, first at bat of the next game, hit this one. So instantly, I went in from being in a no, yes to a yes, no mentality and got me dialed back in. Okay, so a bonus tip, I've kind of mentioned it in here, but it's something that I do want to retouch upon here, is now that we are not trying so hard, okay? We're relaxed, in control of ourselves, and our mentality in a yes, no mentality. We want to make sure that we are doing this with a direction, okay? And that is, for a right-handed hitter, I want to be thinking at least right center field, okay? And the reason for that is, maybe you say, oh, well, but I can't hit home runs to right center field. I don't have power that way. It doesn't matter. It's not about where the ball is going to go, and you might surprise yourself anyways. Just because your approach is right center field or opposite field, that doesn't mean that that's where the ball has to go. Okay? Your approach is part of your mental plan, but it also has a mechanical element. And that mechanical element is, if I'm thinking right center field, I'm going to set my body in a different position. I'm going to keep that front shoulder kind of down and front and chin on that front shoulder. And so now as I'm approaching, as I'm picking up the pitch out of the pitcher's hand, I'm thinking that way. So if I get a pitch middle away, boom, I'm right on that thing, I can drive it, right? And still, maybe it's not a home run, but you're going to hit it harder and farther than you even thought that you could, okay? Then if that pitch does happen to be in, okay, because I'm still thinking that way, and there I go, I'm in a yes, no, yes, and then it's a yes, and the pitch is in. Because I'm thinking right center field, I'm not gonna go like this, hook it, roll it over, chop it, foul it off, whatnot. My approach to right center field is gonna help me stay inside this ball and then actually drive this thing to left center or left field with backspin, barrel, backspin, gone. Okay guys, I hope you found these 3 tips helpful. Once again, make sure you download that free guide in the description below. It's gonna help you control yourself in the moment. You can control yourself here. You can control yourself physically, putting good swings on good pitches, and you can't do that if you're not in control of yourself. So download that link in the description below. Okay guys, so in the comments below, I want to hear about this best hit ever. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it? I would love to know. Was it a home run? Was it a double? Was it a ball in the gap? Did you almost take the pitcher's head off or something? Like, share with me a little bit about what that best hit was like and what it felt like for you. You know, what were you thinking? Again, go back to the tips in the video. Let me know. Was I on point? Did it help? Could you relate? Were you trying to hit home runs when you hit that ball? Were you trying to hit your best hit ever? You know, were you relaxed? Were you in control of yourself? What was your mentality like? Share some of that with me in the comments below. Okay, guys, I'll see you in the next one.